Mola, what is the weather like where you are right now? It's hard to tell, but it looks so far calm. But we know that Florence is approaching the coast.
Well, that's right, Vlad and Marie. As you can tell from the pictures here, it is calm. It is still relatively mild. You know, we've noticed conditions starting to turn a little bit here in the last 5-6 hours. Wind gusts starting to pick up here and there. The sun has come out once or twice. But as you mentioned, about 24 hours from now, we are expecting to really be in full swing here as Florence is expected to make landfall.
And what are officials saying about the risks of trying to ride out this storm? We've seen, a handful of people who say that's exactly what they intend to do.
Yeah, the overwhelming majority of people along the coastline, up and down throughout North and South Carolina, especially in the vulnerable coastal communities, the overwhelming majority of people heeded the warnings, they heeded the advice and the mandatory evacuations and even the voluntary evacuations, and they headed inland. They moved west, they got out of town. You're always going to have a handful of people who want to ride the storm out. And according to those people, we've found a couple and spoke to a couple. It's not, because they're being naive about this or they're being ignorant or to the storm or, seeking out some, twisted sense of adventure or anything like that. But they want to be close to their properties. They don't want to abandon what they own. They want to put eyes on the damage. They want to be the first ones to respond to the damage of their properties. But again, officials are not mincing any words about this. We've heard everything over the last couple of days, from this is a monster of a storm to it's a life-threatening storm, a catastrophic potential storm. The police chief of Wrightsville Beach was out here just a few minutes ago, and when he was asked what his officers are telling some of the folks who decided to stay behind, is that they were getting next of kin names to notify their next of kin in the event of their death. So these folks are not, in terms of the officials, they are not mincing any words, and that's by design. They want to scare people into moving. They'd rather scare them and have them move inland than have them, and there not be a storm, than have them stick around and perhaps potentially suffer the worst.
I don't know what people think they're going to do to have first eyes on the damage. You're not going to be able to hold back a storm surge or a flood in your house, and people are not going to be able to get to you to help you if that happens.
Yeah, man is no match for Mother Nature. There's nothing you can do. It's better to wait it out. There's no question about it. But the rationale that we get from folks is they don't want to abandon their properties.
So let's talk about the storm surge, Mola. I mean, have you spoken to anybody who has decided that they're going to ride this out, what they will do if that storm surge happens over the next couple of hours?
Well, again, this goes back to what we were just talking about. There's never really a good explanation. I mean, they have an explanation, and folks that we'll talk, that we've spoken to, just say they'll find higher ground, perhaps going up onto the roof. We've seen those sort of images with Katrina and with Harvey and some of those other storms, with people getting to the point where they have nowhere else to go. The water starts moving in so quickly that they've got to go to the roof. So if that is if that's your plan, then that's, you might find yourself in a life-threatening spot. So, as far as what people can do, there's not a whole lot you can do, especially, in some of the areas that we're talking about, some of the worst expected storm surge areas. They're talking about potentially 9, 10, 11 feet of storm surge. Now, you can board up your properties. You can put sandbags down. A lot of these coastal communities, a lot of these beach communities, the states and local governments have done a lot in the last few years to mitigate, a lot of beach development projects to mitigate some of these storms. But a 10-foot storm surge, that goes back to man is no match for Mother Nature. There's not a whole lot you can do in terms of protecting yourself from something like that.
All right, Mola Lenghi reporting for us, Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. Mola, thank you so much. We appreciate it.